Oh my god, that pussy is freezing!
Pillars of Eternity continues. Welcome back, everyone, to more Pillars of Eternity. I'm your host, the Game Hoarder. Welcome to a mini marathon on this lovely Saturday while the fiance is out shopping for wedding dresses. I am using my time wisely to do my end of the bargain and upload Let's Plays for the Horde. And I must say it tastes good. Alright, what other questicles are we needing to triumph over? We need to go to Durgan's Battery once again and find Harm Key for the devil. Let's ask around Stelwart about that. Let's get it on, get it on. Okay.
I'm right here.
You ask him.
Yes.
I'm right here.
Okay. Someone around Stelwart. I guess it's not Reginald. Let's talk elsewhere, Dick.
Well?
So, you really found the White Forge, huh? He shakes his head in wonder. Hardly believed it at first, but I've never seen Reginald so giddy about anything. He cracks a crooked grin.
Here, drinks on me. We should see a boost in business with the battery open. Makes for a brighter future than we had yesterday, for sure.
Do you know a man named Harnkek?
The woodcutter? Sure do. Head west from the village, then go north. If you see the frozen stream, you've gone too far. Usually works a stand of trees out in the russet wood, though he steps out from time to time.
Well, what are we waiting for?
Don't worry, we're not looking to murder him or anything.
No, not at all. Lug is too nice to do such a thing. Off to Russetwood. Alright, let's assassinate a bastard. Where do you think he'll be at? I wonder if it's worth enchanting her blades as well. Already exceptional. We will want 4 more to be dedicated to that. A Kraken Eye? Holy fuck. And a Sky Dragon Eye. Okay. Feel like you only get like a couple of these things unless there's some crazy wizard that sells these to you. But anyways, I digress. So we'd be up to 10 if we do max that, so we want to at least leave 4 more slots, which means we can still burn 2. We do not have a lot of Durgan steel. I don't know if we get more of this either. I'm very wary on using this. I think I want to just wait until we're at the end of the game and I know I'm at my final weapons. Now, if you guys already know I'm using an in-game weapon and I should definitely enchant it with the Durgan Refined Weapon, please tell me. Mr. Satan, I'm talking to you, specifically, motherfucker. Could also make it of Slain. Kith is always a good decision, but it also costs 4. Because, of course, it affects all these things. I might just throw some corrosiveness on it first. I definitely think her weapon should have that corrode damage. I'm going to leave that one for now. Check this one out. I don't think we want them to both have the same, so let's make... That one looks like a freezing damage. We're going to add 25% freeze damage on that one. She's cold and corrosive. I like it. We could also make that a Kither. But again, I'm not sure we want to do that. This is a superb. These are both fantastic weapons. This one can go up another 2, and then we can bust another 2 on it and make it a Slain. Of course, the Durgan eats up a space. So that'd be 1, 2. We could have all that. That'd take it to 12. No, we'd have to pick. That would max it at 14. We could do one of these in a refine, though. I mean, this is obviously her permanent armor, so I can see if I'm taking her through the end of the game, if I decide to, which I kind of feel I should. She's evil as shit. Permanent on her endgame armor for sure. This feels like a good idea. Plus 15 of all the crits coming in are converted to hits. Armor speed penalty minus 15%. I'm assuming that's in a positive way. Her recovery speed is minus 40. Let's test it. I'm going to save. I'm not going to actually keep this yet. I'm waiting for big decisions from you guys as well. So she's at minus 40 now. So say we did craft this. Oh, and that takes 0 ultimately. So that's awesome. It still says minus 40, but does that make it minus 55 or does that make it minus 25? It's already at a negative. My math is terrible, so it's just one of those negative equals a positive situations. Anyways, let's do what we came for. It's him, Harmka. I remember that weak chin and those knobby knees. She stops, staring motionless at the figures among the trees. You'd best get a handle on her, Lug-Lug. His eyes fly wide and alone. The elven man emerges into the clearing and freezes, staring at the devil of Karak. For an elf, he's tall and rangy, with a weather-beaten face beneath stringy, greasy hair. The others with him turn glaring and gaping at the bronze golem.
Auroch's shadow! What's that wicked thing doing here?
Harmka swallows, a lump bobbing in his neck. We're saving your sorry village!
Are you mad? With that murderer?
Says the chinless cur who burnt down a village.
Look, we don't want no trouble. Just trying to do our work.
Beads of sweat have formed on his forehead despite the chilly air.
We'd be much obliged if you'd leave us be. And take that thing with you.
He looks at the devil with the mixture of terror and loathing.
Enough. What do you see, Lug-Lug? Is that the man who torched us?
The devil sways on her feet, her whole body moving around the axis of her ankles. Though she's talking to you, her attention, a concentrated spear of essence, is focused on Harmka. He steps away from you, but your awareness reaches through his trembling skin and the feeble resistance of his fear. You see memories, snow-shrouded forest partitioned by fallen pines and firs, days measured by the steady swing of your axe. There are other moments, too, recollections that flare up like a hearth's welcoming fire. There are children, spry and lanky like you, but still full of rowdy energy of youth. Together, you scatter winterbloom petals on a grave. You reach deeper into Harmka's soul. Years roll back, a torch in your left hand bathes your face and shoulder in heat. All around you are the men and women holding their torches, and the mountain air is acrid with the stench of smoke and sweat. Rage billows off the others. It's been fever in your blood for days now, exhausting you and invigorating you in equal measure. You're at the edge of that town, Coldmourn. It's hours yet before dawn, but the commotion has started to awaken the village. Candlelight ignites behind frost-crusted windows, and haunted faces peer out at you through the glass. You begin to doubt yourself. Just then, a door slams. A villager comes racing through the streets, kicking up snow, with his stark white face and pale hair. He looks almost like a ghost. The line of torchbearers ripples as he gets closer. He picks up speed, but nobody moves toward him. You imagine him breaking through the row, shattering your ranks like the bad dream that brought you all here. You imagine waking up in your bed, the heat from your torch, nothing more than the warmth of your wife sleeping next to you. Instead, the villager reaches the row of torchbearers a stone throw away from you. A woman advances from the line and buries her dagger in his neck. The rest of your fellows shout, rage, memory, and bloodthirsty triumph boil up in you. You all came with a purpose. You came to bring justice to the traitors of Coldmourn. The next few hours are painted in colors more vivid than life. You put your torch to anything that stands, and your sword to anyone who runs. It is as if Magrin herself whispers in your ear and guides your hand. Exhaustion has almost cooled your rage when you spy a house at the edge of the town. One of the only buildings that hasn't already burned. It's flanked by knotty spruce trees, and the door is painted yellow. Yellow, the bloom of sunrise, the hue of your son's hair, the color of cowardice. Just then, someone barrels into you from behind. It's a man, someone you remember from the journey to Coldmourn, though you can't recall his name. He snarls at you, mad with indiscriminate rage, and it occurs to you that he's mistaken you for one of the villagers. You smash the window and hurl your torch inside. The other man has turned away. You think you hear a child shriek within the house, but it's impossible to tell above the roar of the riot. Harmka shivers as you pull away from his memory. His eyes are wide with guilt and fear.
Spit it out, Lug-Lug. What did you see?
Her feet are rooted in the snow, but her limbs jerk and jangle.
He burned down your house!
She stares at Harmka. You hear only a whirring mechanism in her throat, but Harmka leans closer.
What did you say?
His mouth quivers.
What did it feel like? The torch in your hand, the blade you carried? What did they feel like?
A wild, inhuman scream echoes out of the bizarre machinery of her throat. It drops Harmka and his companions to their knees, where they cry out in terror. Gears squeal and crank as she rushes at him. It is time to fuck shit up. Gotta keep it thematic. She's going straight for Harmka. But so will Lug-Lug. We haven't rested yet, so we don't get all those awesome spells.
So much for you.
Quest expires in a day. 25 experience, remembrance of life, warmth, copper. Tell me what the quest is. Oh, there we go. Let's finish the battle. So I don't have to read over battle music. Whoa. Big old coins. All across the Eastern Reach, people are being buried in graveyards and returning from the dead as Fampes. Examination by the locals has revealed that the Animanches had tampered with several grave sites prior to the burial. Local lords have released bounties for the capture of whoever is responsible. Unfortunately, the rapid spread of events leads many to believe that a group, not a single individual, is behind the experiments. Pelagina's probably itching for adventure. Go ahead, go on that little questicle there. Should have left her with her sword. Oops, now I feel bad.
Of course.
Right here. Almost 15 years I've been looking for him.
She stares ahead as you approach, the ink-black marble of her eyes fixed on some distant point. Her essence swells and swirls in the theros of contemplation.
All that fretting and wondering. And the deed's over in less time than it takes to tell.
Some men don't last long! A dry metallic chuckle echoes from her throat.
I killed a lot of folk in my time. Felt their blood slick in my hands. Smelled their flesh as it burned.
She holds her hands in front of herself as they twitch and spasm.
And I always used to imagine what it would be like to have Harmka under my knife, feeling his breath come hot and fast, smelling the fear ooze out of him.
Get on with it!
Couldn't feel a thing. His fading pulse weren't no more than a powder of rain to me.
She shrugs, letting her arms clatter to her sides. Trust me, he's definitely dead!
I know, but I wanted to feel it, you understand?
She reaches toward you with sudden, desperate intensity.
This body, it weren't made for feeling. Gouging my fingers into Harmka's wasting flesh, his screams just buzzing in my skull.
She flexes and unflexes her fingers in a few lightning-quick motions.
All it did was remind me
Of what?
that this is a madman's fever dream. Like a prison, but no, because in a prison, you lay your head down and you feel the straw soft beneath you. Your flesh prickling in the cold, black bread crumbling on your tongue.
She turns her arm in front of her, examining the scrollwork on the backs of her hands with horror and wonder. Pain and pleasure are distractions. You're lucky to avoid them. She makes an ugly, clangorous sound like a snort.
I still dream on folk. I wake up some mornings wondering why I can't feel the floor beneath me, thinking I must have fallen and gone crippled. But then I lift my head, see a bronze corpse stretching out in front of me.
If you don't quit complaining, I'll think up something worse for you.
And what would you know of having your essence ripped from you mote by mote?
Her eyes, steady black eyes, glare coldly.
It's not pity I want, it's a choice.
She draws back from you.
I dreamed too of what Galvino did that night. Those moments. I'd endure another cold morn if it'd spare me this fate.
She rubs her hands together, tracing even joints with her fingertips. What happened exactly?
It was after I got caught in Stalwart. They'd locked me in a little house by the inn, the old mayor and his cronies.
Her head dips as she remembers.
When a crowd of them came for me in the dark of night, I was only surprised it had taken them so long.
She hesitates.
Only they didn't march me to no gallows. No. They snuck me to another house on the edge of town, real sneaky-like. That's where I met Galvino.
She raises her head, her black eyes shining. What was he doing there?
He was fiddling with some machinery in his workshop. Had his sleeves rolled up even though it was cold enough to see her breath. Never actually looked at me until he started fitting some copper helmet over my head. By that time, the mayor's goons had me trussed up good and tight. Galvino was having himself a grand time barking orders at that lot.
What did the mayor have to do with this?
He'd agreed to hand me over to Galvino for an experiment.
She waves her hands at the word, metal flashing.
Claimed it was a fair punishment, but the townfolk weren't too pleased at being denied their stone pitching.
She crosses her arms, nodding.
Didn't help that they heard the jangle of copper in that deal. In the end, that's what sent Galvino and the old mayor packing.
I see.
So while Galvino's fastening that helmet over my head and them copper bands around my arms, I'm starting to look at his contraption. And that's when I see it.
Her black eyes are fixed on some indefinable point. Her essence dims.
It's this metal suit strapped into the machine, just like me. A cold, dead-eyed thing, all done up with fancy carvings and such.
Did you know what they intended?
I had this terrible cold feeling in my gut, but I still couldn't figure.
She shakes her head.
I start asking Galvino and the rest of them what's going on, but they're too busy to answer. Then suddenly, they're waiting, staring at me with that fixed, horrified look. But they ain't watching me. They're watching for something to happen.
Her eyes flicker, rolling and scraping beyond her face.
Galvino tells the woman nearest the machine to flip the handle, and then just pain. Being torn apart every which way, feeling my soul peeled from my body.
Her limbs twitch and shudder. She pauses, waiting for her body to fall still.
By the time I came to, I couldn't feel a thing. Just this dull, distant sort of ache.
I heard the old man cackling and chattering. When I saw him looming over me, looking down at me with hungry eyes, I tried to scream, tried to swing at him.
I think that was when I knew.
She shakes her head and falls silent.
And that's how you ended up here?
Sure enough, and how Galvino ended up in that little shack.
Uh-huh.
The rest of Stalwart didn't take kindly to having a killer in their midst, nor to seeing their mayor and the Ornery Valians strike a secret deal. They drove Galvino out, destroyed a fortune in machinery, and wrote a letter to the Academy in Salona, ruining what was left of his name. Still, he's lucky he didn't get a pelting. The old mayor fled too, and Stalwart's been as snug and cheery as ever.
Now that we've dealt with Harmka, why have you stuck around?
You're better company than Galvino.
She says it offhand, teasing fashion, but she looks away from you, fidgeting with the rivet.
Been a while since I were out in the world. Guess I'm keen on seeing more of it. Even if I'm stuck with a bleeding heart.
Huh?
Anyways, I've been wondering about that fortress.
I'm cruel as fuck. You're acting unusually coy.
She's quite fixated on her squeaking joint.
Near everyone thought it'd have just the thing they need.
She ticks a list off on her clicking fingers.
Those villagers wanted to fix up their brook downtown. Galvino always thought it carried some great secret of Animanson. And all them adventurers came looking for fancy gear.
They're all fools. An abandoned fortress won't solve anyone's problem.
Her words die in her throat with a sound like a creaking door.
You're right. Let's go.
God, you're finally done talking? Typical woman.
What is it?
All right, wrapping up quest. Questicles going down. What else we got? This is the main quest. We'll leave that alone. We'll leave the White March main shit alone for now. Durgan's Battery, of course. Journey to the Admin of the Fallen Moon. Oh, fuck. I don't know where the fuck that is. True to form. Alright, these are the companion quests. Grieving Mother, Hear of Us. Who is this? Cragholt. That's back in the beginning as well, I think. Pelagina, ain't doing that yet. Just sent her off. This is for Sagani. Also there. Endurance. Another quest in Durgan's Battery. Whitestone Hollow. Looks like some Durgan Battery stuff. Searing Falls bounty and destroy the Terror of Whitestone Hollow. Deliver the missive. That's Twin Elms, and this is the Blade of the Endless Path. Pretty sure we have all we need there for that. Broken Blade. Looks like the two pieces of the Broken Blade, the Ornate Hilt, and the Pommel Stone. So let's waste a bunch of time and see if we can get that done. Could have done that a while ago. Barracks will be done in 18 hours. Why not? Just waste some time. Okay, let's get the walls back up. Jesus, next time I'll just go fight. Can see him knocking one wall down, but two in my barracks? Get the fuck out of here. I found all the pieces of this ancient sword. You think you can repair it? Aye, to be a privilege to. Not often you get to lay eyes on such fine craftsmanship. He runs a callous finger along the edge of one of the shards. This blade will take some time, but I'll guarantee it'll be worth the wait. Minutes later, he beams. Finest work I ever done, if I say so myself. It's only a shame I can't take all the credit for it. Something else you have in mind? No, thank for my sword. Finally done with that shit. Probably about time to get back to Durgan's battery. The Blade of the Endless Path. Here she is. It's not soulbound, huh? Unique as talk two-handed. Uh-oh. An Adirian explorer once heard of a legend of Egwithian tomb filled with the dead empire's greatest treasures. Dead set on making a name and a fortune for himself, he had one of the finest smiths in Dyrwood craft a blade worthy of his task. He descended into a place known as the Inland Pass of Audnua, and was never heard from again. His possessions were scattered by strange evils that dwelled within, and his priceless blade was shattered. Well, she's superb already, which is nice. 26 to 37. Let's go ahead and compare to the Great Sleeper. Same damage. DR bypass is the same. Both superb. But this invokes vessels and all kinds of other cool shit. And has a 10% chance to paralyze or hit. On hit. Better accuracy in attacking an ally. 20% attack speed is pretty nice, though. We'd have to leave the quality for superb or legendary. The nice thing about this is you can't enchant soulbound stuff. You can enchant this stuff. So we could eventually make this exceptional. We could make it have even more attack speed. And 20% of the hits will be converted to crits. That's pretty intense. Really don't have room to bring it up to legendary, if anything. You'd want to do that for sure. 15 accuracy and plus 55% damage. If it was legendary and had some Durgan refined steel on it, I'd say it would definitely be better than the Gray Sleeper. I don't know. Right now, the only boon that it has over the Gray Sleeper is the accuracy, which you have to be attacking the same as an ally, which is not necessarily going to happen all the time because I do send Lug-Lug off to kind of mitigate some people away from the rest of the party. He also has, but the 28% attack speed coupled with making it Durgan Steel, it would be 35% attack speed, assuming those will be stackable. So yeah, I don't know. Definitely would be an upgrade for Pallegina if we took her back. Anyways, we got it. We'll hang on to it. Here's a Soulbound Dagger. We might want to give this to homie girl here. Simple Soulbound Daggers. Fast, 14 and 20. Deflection. Yeah, it's already doing more than that. Plus, it's also superb. Let's soulbind this and see what happens when we get it. Get it nice. So she needs to do a bunch of slashing damage. That'll be easy peasy. Simple might be as specific as one can be when describing the Stagger. Its handle is leather wrapped and plain. Its blade is bronze. It has no markings, no filigree, no gems or fancy metalwork. It appears well made, but it is so unremarkable that it is a challenge to judge. There's a sense in holding it that there must be something more there, if only because difficult to believe any craftsman would take so little pride in his work. Hopefully it looks cooler, because right now it's pretty lame. Infestation Spider Trap. Hell yeah, we want that.
Cool.
Okay, I'm going to take us on over to Whitestone and then Durgan's Battery. All right, here we are. Whitestone Hollow. Some looters. Couple of dead looters. Exceptional crossbow. Nothing else of interest.
Uh-huh. Ain't that special?
Hello, it's a snow bear. It's a young snow bear. They're munching on something. How are you supposed to be able to sneak attack shit? Because if she can't sneak... See ya!
Right here.
Should be another way for her to like sneak. I don't know. Doesn't seem to work very well. Wow, there we go. 300 blade with it. It's exceptional now. Goes from 13 to 18. Okay, okay.
That'll do.
It did not take long at all.
Let's see what we got.
Eating the carcass of some deer or something? Riona's breastplate. Ooh, soul-bound. Monk, paladin, or chanter? Well, that's gotta go to Pelagina. The dark green enameled steel breastplate was property of Riona, an adventurer who hailed from the Valian Republics and found her calling running with expedition companies in Deerwood. A small amount of copper chain extends from under the breastplate for additional protection. Riona entered her career early after giving up her expedition group to a dragon in the White March in exchange for her own life. Ooh. Interesting. Grants litany of minor afflictions. Once per rest. Well, we'll definitely hang on to that for our paladin. I don't know that we'll use our chanter or monk, really.
Sure.
By the way, if you're wondering at the beginning of the video why I yelled, "That's a freezing pussy," it's because I swapped out for the calico cat. I don't think I explained why I was yelling at the beginning. Sorry. Not that that should surprise you. Well, shit. Here we go with these freezing things. I'm not a big fan of these guys, but we might as well open up with a fireball. The elements. Hit him with fireballs, man. It just makes sense. Ow. I don't know but if it's me, but the music, man. Let's go to 60.
Yes.
The upper edges of this engraved slab have been worn smooth by the hands of travelers eager for some good luck. The hell was that? Unleash hell.
How may I help?
So good.
The Terror of Whitestone Hollow. It's a big freezing bastard. I'm just gonna light fireballs up on these sumbitches. What's going on here? Do it.
Gotta try something else. Gotta try something else.
Okay.
Well?
Caravan Master's brooch. Bounty. The terror is destroyed.
What is it?
A curse of cold clay is done. It looks like Pelagina traveled from Hangman's Abbey to the Bay of Crowns investigating the various reports of vampire appearances. In each case, Pelagina discovered that the grave sites had elaborate glass, copper, and adra devices buried around them. The distinctive intricacy of the devices were traced to a Valian dwarf that had been shunned for his unpleasant practices in Salona. And Ansenzi. When captured, the dwarf claimed his intent was not to create vampires, but to restore life. The vampires were created due to the dwarf's inability to solve a fundamental problem with the machinery. The incredible frequency of the dwarf's activity was not due to co-conspirators, but rather his extensive use of drugs that kept him awake and frantic for days on end. Once confronted, the dwarf put up no fight and allowed himself to be taken into custody. When Pelagina left him, he was awaiting trial in Telenir. We got Remembrance of Life's Warmth, 3 uses. Plus 20 endurance to friendly AoE. This curious device created by a deranged dwarven animaster has the ability to cast the druid spell Garden of Life. Bad visitor leaving in 3 days, 8 hours. We will send an escort with him. He will travel with this bald monk. A wealthy nobleman by the name of Lord Sidrock has arrived at the stronghold. He seeks your aid in defending his keep from his rivals. Well, he's going to have to fucking wait, because I am busy.
What is it? Still don't see.
Whoa. Still don't see why he had to hurt the dog. Here we go, Lug Lug. It's time to shine, baby. Oh, he's doing the dragon leap on me. Heart of Fury, bitches! Guys. Help me out here.
That ain't gonna work.
Mage is fucked. He's blinded, he's withering, he's all fucked up.
Right here.
You're a bit behind us on XP, for obvious reasons, but still very close. And we got Ronstock to level. Let's take care of that. Yes, yes, yes. Stealth and mechanics. We'll save it. I can pick 2 other spells with him. That seems like that'll be useful for my wizards as well. And should we also give him a Shadow Flame instant? Yes. Yes. We'll need it if we ever substitute Aloth out of the party. A dead slut dog. Yummy. Yummy, yummy.
As you wish.
Yes.
The Looter's Spell Guide. Let's do some spell sharing, shall we? Not shit. Here we go. Some minor arcane reflection and flame shield. We'll take it. We need all the spells. We'll go ahead and spend 800 copper to learn Wilting Wind and Kalakoth's Freezing. And we will share the Elemental Protection and the Cool Black Bow spell with you. At this point, you might as well spend the money. Especially for anything level 4 plus, I think.
What is it?
As you wish.
Viria's formal footwear. Aristocrat Karos of Dexterity +4. Grants Karos. +3 lore, +4 dexterity. Nice. According to the Ovalian folk tales, Viatro was a young tailor from a poor village who dreamed of attending the Margiverno ball at the Imperial Palace. However, though he had made many fine clothes for himself, he had no shoes to match, no invitation from the imperial family, and no knowledge of palace manners. One day, a kindly wizard heard his wish and gifted him with an enchanted pair of shoes. They were formal enough for the ball, and the wizard promised they would provide all Viatro needed in time. Viatro took the wizard at his word and arrived at the palace gates the day of the ball, dressed in his best clothes and his new shoes. The guards on duty demanded Viatro's invitation, and suddenly the young man felt a weight in his pocket. He found a flask of fine spirits, which he gave the guards in exchange for entry. Continuing to the ball, he found himself in conversation with several Comtes and Marcesos. I don't know what the fuck those words are. First time. Viatro was as certain his ignorance would betray him, but he spoke with such knowledge of his history and custom that his hosts were impressed. His confidence in the wizard's shoes grew, and when he saw the most beautiful woman at the ball, he asked her to dance. Shoes guided his feet and his tongue, and such was his charm that he and the young princess were wed by the year's end. Oh, princessa. That's princess enough for me, baby. Those are great for throwing on Ronstock, making Ronstock that pimp. Grants jolting touch and +3 damage reduction from shock. +4 on the dex. And that +3 lore. Oh, yeah. He's loving his new shoes. Where the hell did that come from? We need to get a helmet for the devil here. Sure doesn't show up. It's just on that part. That's boogie. And it's just his belt here. Oh, it's like the shade. Wow. That really doesn't do a whole lot on him.
Of course.
Make sure we're not getting decks from anywhere else, actually. That action speed and that reflex.
As you wish.
This pale, rough stone doesn't resemble any other formation in the areas. Embers still smolder in these blackened ruins. Apart from the few flecks of soot, the supplies in this cart are untouched.
Ain't that special?
Ring of Unshackling. Whoop-de-boo. Costa. Embrace. The pair look up at you as you approach. Blazes, here's another one. Haven't you done enough? Watch it! The second villager elbows the first, hard. Ow! What I mean is, we think something bad's happened here. We noticed some of Hattie's goats wandering loose. When we came up here, we saw some suspicious people leaving Hattie's house. Looks like they torched the barn. Suspicious people? Not just looters, I mean. They were armored up like they were in for battle, and mean-looking. Kern's got something to do with it, I just know it. Why are you just standing out here then?
We were worried there might be one of them still inside. We're goat herders, not warriors.
I think I know what's going on.
Can guess, I bet. We get a lot of bandits up here. It's just a shame it happened to Hattie. Still don't think it's the bandits, but hey, have a look and you'll know for certain.
What is it? As you wish.
Grab that fishy fish. Addendum bleak oath. You bastard. Hattie and his wife have been killed. The Bleak Walker is nowhere to be seen. There may be hints within the house as to where they've gone. Not stealing the grain. The fire has died down to a handful of glowing embers. Someone has torn away several pages behind, leaving bloody smears. A bloody thumbprint marks where someone pulled away a piece of bread. Oh, I'll take that, though. The dead man's sprawled position gives you a clear view of the sword wound in his back. The smear drying blood around him is not yet faded to brown. You hear a groan, low and pained, and turn your head to see. There's a dull pain in your skull and your vision swims. A harsh grip on your arm bears you upright on your knees. We don't have anything worth stealing. Otherwin's voice cuts through your sluggish thoughts. You look up at the armored man seated at the table, your stomach knotted with dread.
No, you don't.
He reaches almost idly for the ledger. You notice before he does the way that Owina tenses up, but you're not sure why until he opens the book and the letter falls out.
Family?
The man smiles as he picks up the letter. No! Owina tries to run forward only to get caught by the arm from a man behind her.
Looks like Eska's doing well at the mill. Sweet of him to write. Deerford's a long way from here.
Enough, Sebastian.
All right.
He tosses the letter on the table, cruel amusement swiftly replaced with irritation.
Kill him.
You barely have time to register the words. The sword through your back drives the air from your lungs and the strength from your limbs all at once. Owina's screams seem so faint. You have to get to her. You have to warn Eska somehow, but your legs won't listen. You can't breathe. The memory slips from you like a shut coat, and then the pain in your back fades just as quickly. The mill in Deerford is where we need to head. Whoa! Some crazy ice beetles!
Hey.
That's it.
Well,
What the fuck are you doing, dude?
That's it.
Heart of Fury, goddammit. Yeah! Yeah, baby!
so much for you. Let's burn this away. Let's burn this away. Yes. Bring them down! Of course.
Jesus. Get me the fuck out of battle, please.
Well,
Alright, folks, that wraps it up for this video. Stay tuned for more Pillars of Eternity and the Saturday Mini Marathon.